Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
The same tactic that they're doing over and over again of trying to manipulate the courts to get what they want.
Because she allegedly has had some very bad experiences with Justin Baldoni.
Judge Lehman responds to this order and he just slaps her down.
Blake Lively just lost in court again. This is her second loss in a row. It is not looking good for her and her legal team. It seems the effort of her legal team is becoming futile by the day, and frustration is starting to set in. You can almost picture them running around, pulling their hair out, wondering what move to make next because nothing is working in their favor right now. After the last court sitting for the allegation of sexual harassment against her co-actor Justin Baldoni, things have gone from bad to worse. The court literally tossed out the evidence her team presented, and that left Blake's lawyers scrambling to pick up the pieces. It was like watching someone try to glue back a shattered vase. So, they asked the judge for more time to amend their lawsuit, hoping they could come back stronger.
That we found out that Blake Lively's team, according to her attorney, is actually planning to file an amended complaint in their lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others. According to her attorney, Michael Gottlieb, that is going to include new claims from Blake Lively, and they're going to be bringing this lawsuit against new defendants.
Judge Lyman granted them until February 14th, Valentine's Day. As if they hadn't already pushed their luck, Blake's team popped back up, asking for even more time.
Then filed 2 days ago for an extension. They're like, actually, we're not going to be able to make that amendment due date of February 14th.
This time, they wanted an extension until March 5th.
To dear Judge Lehman, February 14th, 2025 is the original default deadline for Ms. Lively to file her amended complaint. As a matter of course, in relation to responsive pleadings of Wayfarer Studios, LLC. Then they go on to say, Ms. Lively respectfully submits that an extension for filing an amended complaint, as a matter of course, to March 5th, 2025 is warranted.
They tried, but Judge Lehman was not having it. Like, come on now. They had already been given extra time, and now they wanted more. Blake's team, however, had plans to bring in more witnesses to testify against Justin Baldoni. One of the witnesses they considered was Jenny Slate, who acted alongside Baldoni in It Ends With Us, playing his sister.
But he got a very strong tip from somebody regarding Jenny Slate potentially being brought into the suit.
Jenny was a strong supporter of Blake and even called her a good friend. She had publicly supported Blake and was against the allegations made against Blake Lively.
Side. This was a statement she released. She said, as Blake Lively's castmate and friend, I voice my support as she takes action against those reported to have planned and carried out an attack on her reputation. Blake is a leader, loyal friend, and a trusted source of emotional support for me and so many who know and love her. What has been revealed about the attack on Blake is terribly dark, disturbing, and wholly threatening, she added. I commend my friend, I admire her bravery, and I stand by her side.
But when it came time to testify, Jenny had a surprise for Blake. She allegedly denied any involvement and distanced herself from the case. Despite her refusal, Blake's team planned to subpoena Jenny, believing her testimony would strengthen their case because she allegedly had uncomfortable experiences with Baldoni. However, many claim that this is just a trick to manipulate the case by including more women in the lawsuit to make Blake's case feel more legitimate. But when this plan didn't go as expected, Blake's team asked for an extension to form a new strategy. Judge Lehman wasn't buying it, though. When he asked why they needed until March 5th, Blake's legal team gave this long, complicated explanation about adding new parties to the lawsuit. One of those parties was Jed Wallace and his company, Street Relations. Blake's team claimed Wallace had filed a 10-page lawsuit in a Texas federal court that overlapped with their case, and they needed time to deal with it. Sounds reasonable, right? Well, not so fast.
One of those intended parties, Jed Wallace, along with his company Street Relations, filed an anticipatory and meritless 10-page complaint in the federal district court in Texas regarding issues that substantially overlap with the issues.
Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, came in swinging. He brought receipts, literal receipts, showing that Blake's team had never agreed to an extension when his team asked for one in January during the LA wildfires.
Of Wayfarer, and says, Notwithstanding the Lively party's inexplicable refusal to consent to a similar extension requested by the Wayfarer parties in the throes of the Los Angeles wildfires.
Even though Friedman granted their request, he made it clear that if they got an extension, his team would need one too, pushing their response date to April 15th.
The Wayfarer parties have no objection to the extension sought by the Lively parties. So they're like, whatever, take your extension, we don't even care. But if you do take your extension, then we're asking for an extension beyond that, essentially to allow us to respond thereto on April.
Fair is fair, right? But Brian wasn't done. He dropped a bombshell that left the courtroom in stunned silence. He revealed that Blake's team was trying to paint Wallace as the reason for the delay when, in reality, Blake herself had filed legal action against Wallace in Texas on January 21st, 2 whole weeks before Wallace responded with his lawsuit.
What Lively parties conspicuously failed to mention is that the now pending litigation in Texas was precipitated by Miss Lively, who initiated legal action against Mr. Wallace in Texas state court on January 21st, approximately 2 weeks before he filed his federal lawsuit in.
The audacity! It was like Blake's team was trying to pull a fast one on the court, and Brian was not about to let that slide. Judge Lehman wasn't impressed. He denied their request for a month-long extension and instead gave them just 1 extra day to submit their amendment. You could practically see the defeat on Blake's team's faces. Heads down, shoulders slumped. They looked like a team that knew they were running out of tricks. He made it clear that Blake's team hadn't provided any valid reason for needing more time, and he wasn't about to let them drag this out any longer. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Blake's team, oh, it did. Remember how they tried to slap Brian Friedman with a gag order to keep him from talking to the media? Yeah, that got shut down too.
Judge chose to not impose the gag order on Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman today, but did threaten to move up the trial if the media press war continued.
The court was like, nice try, but no. So now, Brian can freely share details about the case, which is the last thing Blake's team wanted. Imagine trying to control the narrative, only for the court to hand the mic to your biggest opponent. Oh, and let's not forget their latest embarrassment. Justin Baldoni's legal team launched a website to share evidence, receipts, and footage related to the case.
Baldoni's team launched a new website over the weekend, featuring an amended legal complaint and a 168-page timeline of events, including newly released text messages allegedly sent between the embattled stars of It Ends With Us, as well as Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. One alleged text from Reynolds to Baldoni expresses his excitement about It Ends With Us, writing, "This is gonna be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin."
Blake's team, already drowning in legal woes, begged the court to take the site down, but the court wasn't having it. Their reasoning? Blake's team had also gone public with their case, using major outlets like the New York Times to share their side. So why should Baldoni's team be silenced? At this point, Blake's legal team must be wondering what else could go wrong. Every strategy they've tried has backfired spectacularly, and it's looking more and more like Blake could lose this lawsuit. And let's not forget the stakes. $400 million is on the line. That's a lot of money, even for someone as successful as Blake and Ryan. The question now is, how much more can her team take before they completely crack? What do you guys think? Do tell me in the comments section, and don't leave without subscribing. I will see you guys in the next video.